Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Next Level Her podcast, where we have real talk about real growth on the journey to becoming the next version of you. I'm your girl, Pauline, and today we're taking a walk. Actually, a climb. Yes, a climb up life's mountain. So recently, my sister, my friend Felicia, and I went for a walk. We went to Stone Mountain in Georgia, and they have a trail, they have a mountain. So my sister invited me to join her on the trail. And she's been asking me for a minute, and I'm like, no, girl, no, no, no. Because honestly, at the end of the day, if I don't do something, when it comes to physical activity, if I don't do something early on the day, I'm not doing it later. So I'm like, okay, if you want me to go walk, it has to be like 5 a.m. because I got to be at church later. So we went 5 a.m. or was it 6 a.m.? I believe it was 6 a.m. to go climb this mountain. And let me tell you, it was truly a journey, physically, mentally, and spiritually. I felt like I was bamboozled because I've climbed Stone Mountain before, but it's been almost a decade since I've done it. So in my mind, I recall it being difficult, but I also recall it being easy for some reason. But that was almost a decade ago, and my memory did not serve me well. I was excited to do it because she has been asking me for a minute, but I did it. But that journey was real. But here's what amazed me more than the climb itself. It was the life lessons that revealed themselves along the way. So, in this episode, I want to share those takeaways with you because just like that mountain, we're all climbing something. And maybe, just maybe, something in my steps will encourage your steps. So, takeaway number one, set the clock, be intentional. So I always, when it comes to working out, I don't work out as often. I do walk around my neighborhood here and there, but baby, if it's too hot, I'm not doing it. If it's too cold, I'm not doing it. If it's raining, I'm not doing it. So you get the drift, okay? But anytime I do something, I like to track. I like to give myself a time. I give myself a goal. And I just like to see how close I can get to whatever goal I set for myself, right? So before I even took my first step, I told my sister, "Hey, how long does it normally take you to go up the mountain?" She said it takes about 45 minutes, but but sometimes it takes 30 minutes. So she said my fastest has been 30 minutes. I'm like, "Well, I haven't been on this mountain for a minute, so I can't say 30 minutes." So I said, "Let's set our goal for 45 minutes." So that was my goal. And it's not because I was in a rush, but because I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to move with intention and not just wander. So, see, in life, if you don't set the clock, the time will set itself. And often we think we've got forever to reach that next level, right? But if you don't give yourself a timeline, procrastination will always win. Listen, if anybody knows procrastination, nobody knows it better than I do. Because if you don't set that time, like I said, procrastination will win. So don't wait for the perfect moment. Just go ahead and set the clock, show up, and move forward, okay? My second takeaway was start strong. Momentum matters. When we started, I said, okay, let me stretch. I did a little stretching. I ain't do much, but I did a little stretching. Okay. And when I started, the beginning was easy. Adrenaline was pumping, heart full, energy high. And then I was reminded like how important it is to start strong in everything that we do, in everything in life. When you begin with energy, passion, and clarity, it helps you gain momentum that can carry you when the climb gets hard. And y'all, just keep listening because that climb did get hard, okay? But hear me, starting strong isn't about perfection, okay? So don't get perfection in your mind. It's not about perfection. It's about showing up with everything you've got in that moment. Even if if your strong is different from your strong yesterday, okay? Just get started, okay? So, start strong. My next takeaway number 3, don't look back because it'll just slow you down. As I was climbing, there were definitely moments where I looked back a little bit and I saw how far I've come, but some parts were very steep. And so it was making me nervous. But at the same time, I also looked back to see how how close am I to the starting point. Because who knows? I might have just be like, yeah, I could turn around, or maybe let me just sit and wait. Because when I look back, if I can see the beginning, then that just tell me I'm not further along as I would like to be. I realized at the moment, just don't look back. There were moments, definitely, I was tempted to keep looking back, to turn around and look how far I was going. But every time I did that, it slowed me down, y'all. Because I got in my head, you're not moving as fast when you're looking back. So it definitely slows you down and it breaks your rhythm. And the second guessing kind of slow you down a little bit, keep you in the same space. Although you're moving, you're not moving with that same stride. You're not moving with that same momentum. And when you think about it, that's how life can be sometimes. We keep replaying old chapters, revisiting old decisions, watching who's behind us, and all it does is slow our pace down, okay? You are not going that way. So stop looking back. Your future is in front of you. So keep your eyes forward and trust that your past steps are already covered, okay? All right, my next takeaway was keep your head down. I know it sounds bad, but let me explain. Keep your head down, focus on the next step. There was a moment when I looked up at how much farther I had to go, and honestly, it almost discouraged me. That distance felt too much. It felt so far away. And when I focused only on the next step, and then the next step, and then the next step, I moved with more confidence. So sometimes the big picture can be overwhelming. When I was looking to see how far I had to go, it was like, dang, I can't even see I kept looking for the finish line and I couldn't see the finish line. And it was discouraging. So discouraging. So I had to tell myself, just look at the step in front of you and just look at that until you get to where you got to be. But looking at the big picture can be overwhelming. But if you just ask, what's my next step? And take it, before you know it, you'll be farther than you imagined. Okay. So, my advice would be keep your head down and focus on the next step. My next takeaway was keep pushing, even when it's hard. There were steep moments, places where my legs burned and my breath shortened. But I told myself, keep pushing, you're almost there. And I did. But it was difficult because, baby, as you're climbing the mountain, that elevation, it's like, where is the air? Your heart just feels winded. Everything just feels thin. I'm gasping. I'm trying to control my breathing just so I can keep moving with that same momentum. Some of you are in a season where the climb feels heavy. The air is thin. Your strength is low. But can I encourage you for a moment? Just keep pushing. It's okay to slow down, but it's not okay to stop. So don't stop. Don't give up when the breakthrough might be 5 more steps away. So keep going. Another takeaway was use the people around you for encouragement. People, one thing I noticed, because we were there like 6 o'clock in the morning, One is fewer people, which I loved. Fewer people, that means less people on your path, okay? Less distraction. And the morning people, they're happier. They're nicer, they're smiling. They just in good mood. I mean, every 2 seconds, it's like, "Good morning. Good morning. Good morning." Everybody's greeting you and smiling at you. Nobody is, in a bad mood. People are just happier when they're on a mission, when they're intentional. Intentional people are happy. That's something I noticed too. So, and because they were happy, they were able to cheer you on. When I was going up, this guy was going down, so he must have been on this mountain maybe, about 5 something in the morning. But they're just happier, and he was just cheering everyone he saw on his way down, he was cheering them on. So on that trail, it might be strangers, it might be whomever, but they're saying, "You got this. You're almost there." And you know what? That mattered. Their encouragement hit different. Their smile, their greeting, all of that hit different. So I would encourage you to let people cheer you on. Don't isolate yourself on the climb because you're going to need that encouragement at some point. Let voices of hope and light speak life over you. And when you have the strength, be that voice for someone else who's going to need it. So, my next takeaway is encourage others on their journey. So, when I was walking, there was this young lady ahead of me. She was a little bit more heavy set, and she, kind of stopped to take a break. And I looked at her and I said good morning and smiled and kept on walking. And I made it to the top and came back down. On my way down, she was further along and she was sitting down. And so I told her, "You're doing a great job. You're almost there. You got this." And she smiled, and you can tell something about her just kind of stood a little taller. And I bet that's going to help encourage her to even push a little harder. And so be that encouragement for other people. When you see someone climbing their own mountain, you don't know what they're dealing with. Don't stay silent. Use your words because your words might be the fuel that they need to keep going. My next takeaway is take minimal breaks. Okay? Take minimal breaks. Don't get stuck. Okay? Because, baby, depending on what your body is going through, if you get yourself in a position that you cannot get up from, y'all know how sometimes you squat and then you try to get up on your knees, like, whoa, what we doing? What we doing? And so you got to hold on to your knees. You got to hold on to somebody or something to get yourself back up. So when you take a break, be mindful about the type of breaks you take. Be mindful of how you take your break because there was a point in the middle where you can sit down. And I was like, I ain't about to sit down and get stuck. So when you take your break, don't get stuck. Okay. I just kind of moved around, swayed my body side to side to give, take the pressure off one leg, at a time to keep moving. So yes, I did pause to catch my breath, but not for long. I didn't sit, I didn't settle because the longer you stay still, the harder it is to start again. You hear me? The harder it is to start again. And another example, sometimes even when I'm at the salon behind the chair, I don't give myself long breaks because if I give myself long breaks, the next person after probably ain't gonna get their hair done because I might just go home. Because after my body has settled, I don't wanna do anything after that. So, I gotta make sure and be intentional about my breaks, okay? So, if I'm going to break, I make sure it's not too long. So, if you're taking a break in your life right now, whatever you have going on in your life, it's okay to break. I just wanna remind you that it's okay to take a break. Just don't let it turn into stuckness, if that's even a word. Rest, but don't quit. Okay? Give yourself permission to rest. Don't quit. Another takeaway is to admire the view, celebrate along the way. Even before I reached the top, there were moments where I saw the beautiful trees, the skyline, and because we went early in the morning, the sun peeking through, and it reminded me to breathe and take it in. Okay. I had to just breathe it all in because if anybody know me, I don't stop to smell the roses a lot. Okay. So, but it just reminded me to take it all in. You don't have to wait until you arrive to admire where you are or to admire your progress. Celebrate the small wins because that celebration is fuel for the next step. Appreciate the view from where you're standing. It's not just about the destination, it is about the beauty of the climb, okay? And the transformation that you're experiencing with that climb as well. My next takeaway was when you're tired, keep moving, even if you're moving at a slower pace. I had to slow down at many points because when we climbed the mountain, that was about 2 miles round trip. And then the Lulu sister thought it would be great to walk the trail, which is about 5 miles. I did not expect that. I didn't know it was 5 miles. She said, "Oh, it'll take about another, maybe an hour." And I thought to myself, okay, I think I could do that. I started walking. I'm like, how much longer? She's like, well, we got some more time. Okay, 15 minutes in. How much longer? Oh, it's just going to be a little bit. When we pass the playground, we know we're close. So I started looking for this playground. I started fantasizing about this playground, and this playground wasn't showing up fast enough. So I'm like, where is this playground? Because, baby, at this point, I'm looking for a playground. You done bamboozled me into walking this long trail. I don't see a playground. So, yes, baby. So to start, I had no choice but to start slowing down because my legs uh, beneath me just wanted to pass out. My legs were like, okay, you can keep on moving, but I'm gonna be back here. My legs was like, clock me out. I want to tap out. Okay. But I had to tell myself, okay, you can slow down, but you cannot stop. So I had to slow down at some point, but I kept going. Even if it wasn't fast, it was still motion for me. So the key is to stay in motion. That's what matters. Progress isn't always pretty or powerful or fast. As long as you stay in motion, sometimes it's just movement. One slow, steady step at a time, you will still get to your destination, okay? And sometimes when you go slower, you're able to see more, you're able to take in more, you're able to reflect more. Because, baby, I was doing a lot of reflecting. I was looking for a pickup truck to take me the rest of the way. My sister said, "Child, if somebody was kidnapping you, you probably just go with them just so you can get off your feet." I'm like, "Yes, because at this point, baby, my legs are tired. I just, yeah, I got bamboozled." My next takeaway during this long journey: talk to yourself, baby. Pep talk matters. Okay, pep talk matters. I gave myself lots of pep talk the entire way. I spoke to myself out loud. I spoke to myself silently, saying, "Keep going. You got this. You're almost there." I had to be my own cheerleader. And guess what? Sometimes in life, that is what we have to do. You have to be your own cheerleader, even if there's no one there to push you. But you cannot sit still. You still have to push yourself if no one's around. Your words have power too. Just like other people's word have power, yours have power too. So use your own words to speak life over your journey, to speak life over yourself. Okay. So y'all know I said I gave myself a time, right? And y'all probably want to know, Did you meet that goal? Did you meet that goal? So I only timed myself to go up the mountain. So I gave myself 45 minutes to go up the mountain. That was our goal. And guess what, y'all? Yes, we did it in 33 minutes. 33 minutes. Why? Why was that goal important to me? I believe I was able to meet that time frame because I did not take long breaks. I think the breaks I took were like seconds, okay? I did not take long breaks. I kept going. I didn't let distractions stop me. I moved even when I was tired. I let encouragement fuel me. And that's a reminder to all of us. Sometimes you'll do better than you thought you would. Sometimes you're more capable than you give yourself credit for. So set that timer, set that goal. You will surprise yourself because when you have a goal, you push yourself more. If you don't have a goal, you don't remember to push yourself. So, so I'm happy to say we did meet that goal. Now, the trail, the 5 mile trail, like I said, my sister said, "Oh, we should be able to do that in an hour." It took an hour and 47 minutes, baby. My legs were burning. And I am recording this episode 2 days later. My glutes are burning. My ankles are burning. My calves are burning. My pinky toe from a previous injury is recovering. My whole body was like, girl, what were you doing? What were you thinking? And I said, I wasn't thinking. I'm over here listening to my sister. But guess what? My sister goes to the mountain about 3 times a week. So she's used to that type of exertion and all this other stuff. I'm not. I haven't been on that mountain for years. And the most walking I do is maybe 15, 30 minutes in my neighborhood. And there's no mountain in the subdivision. Okay. So it was definitely a challenge. So I want to encourage you. I want to challenge you. What's your mountain right now? What's your mountain right now? Is it starting that business? Is it healing from hard seasons? I feel like I'm in a hard season right now, personally. Well, professionally too. I feel like I'm in a hard season. I'm learning a lot. So I felt like that mountain kind of helped give me some perspective with my, situations personally and professionally. So, healing from hard season. Are you believing in yourself again? Is it letting go of what's behind? Whatever it is, I want you to know that you can climb it, okay? You can climb it and you can do it. You can meet that goal. You can, beat that goal. So you can do it. I just want to encourage you to, use these takeaways. Set that clock. Start strong. Don't look back. Focus on the step in front of you. Use the voices around you and be a voice for someone else. Admire the view. Rest if you need, but don't stop. And most of all, keep going. Because here's the thing, on the other side of that climb is clarity, confidence, and growth. And baby, all these things are beautiful things. And a beautiful reminder that yes, 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 you can do hard things. Baby, that day I did something hard. I walked what, 7 miles? I hadn't done that in years. Well, I don't know if I ever walked 7 miles, maybe in high school. I was in a band. So we had to march during parades. So maybe for parades, I don't know how many miles I've done, but I was used to doing that. But baby, this 42-year-old, I don't remember the last time I walked 7 miles. So yeah, I'm proud of myself because I did something hard. But that's the climb. I'm glad I did something hard. So, for those of you who are listening, thank you so much for climbing with me today. And if this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who's climbing their own mountain, okay? And until next time, keep growing, keep building, and keep rising. You were built for the summit. All right? Talk soon.